Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fully Rendered Podcast, where Pulp cannot eat her carrots anymore.
I can't eat my carrots anymore. See?
Pre-show stuff, and she goes, "I can't eat my carrots anymore." What the
Amazing, amazing. But yes, hi, hey, hello, welcome to the show. Pulp is dressed up, and it's my fault. But she looks majestic, and the reason it's my fault is because I was not clear when I was like, "Do you guys want to dress up?" Because it's a Halloween episode thing.
In Bryan's defense, I did phrase it. I might have something, and I'll go take a look.
I mean, I have a mask.
I didn't.
I can just wear.
You know what I told Kevin? Because Kevin was asking if you two were gonna dress up, and I was like, "Pirate." Bryan will probably be a pirate.
I'm just me with an Oni mask.
Yeah.
Hello. But yeah. I'm not actually going to put it on because it's a balling.
Someone could have worn a onesie.
True.
Someone could have worn, yeah. And you could have been very comfortable and very cute.
No, it's very warm in here for a onesie.
Oh.
I tried my Spider-Man outfit, but it's very damp.
It snowed last night. I sent the boys a picture, and first thing out of Peachy's like, "Aren't you in Nevada?"
Yes. Like, why is there snow?
So I sent him the GIF from Dumb and Dumber where it's like, "I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a lot rockier than this." Yeah, John Denver's full of shit, man. There's different. No, we're in the mountains. We're at I think it's 8,000 feet elevation.
Very high, where skiers like to ski.
There's a lot of skiers. But anyway, hi guys.
Hi.
Oh.
So I'm going to start with what I did today. Because I had a lovely day. I touched grass. It was artificial grass, admittedly. I went and hung out.
Is it AstroTurf?
Yeah, I went and hung out with my friend Ryan, which is always a giggle. Hey?
Touching grass if it's AstroTurf.
It's not. He didn't actually touch grass. He's even lying about grass.
Yeah, like I touched artificial grass. So yeah, I went to hang out with my friend Ryan, which is always a giggle because obviously I'm Bryan and he's Ryan. So when people say our names, they'll be like, "Iron," and we'll both turn around and be like, "No, the other one," or something like that. I used to live with a Ryan as well, so that made it even more complex on those days.
You used to live with Orion?
Yeah, so it'd be Ryan, and Bryan. And then
Orion. You should get a cat called Orion. Oh my god.
We should have. But yeah, his girlfriend
We'll
like
get married right now and get a cat.
His girlfriend's like, "Oi, Iron," and we'd all go, "What?" And like, "Not you, babe." And then I'd reply before anyone else and be like, "Yeah." And that always went down quite well, of course, as you can imagine. But yeah, today
I've had friends like that where I've twice now I've had friends who have the same exact name as me.
Right, yeah.
Maybe just like spelled with like a different a different letter, and it's quite comical.
Yeah, it's always a giggle. But today I did mini golf on 2 different mini golf courses. I did bowling.
I
like
mini golf.
I enjoy it. It's just
I'm terrible at it, but
it's just
I
one of
always hit
those
the ball
things.
too hard.
It's just one of those things where it's like,
short, so I just call it golf.
You just call it golf.
How tall are you, Peachy?
In American 5. Hang on,
I'm 5'2".
In my chat.
I'm 5'2", which is like 160 centimeters, I think.
5'6". I have to have my bot tell me what it is in American.
I'm an inch taller than you, Peachy.
170.
Yeah, I'm 5'2". I'm really short.
Pulp's pocket sized.
So those windmills, they just tower over you.
Everything towers over me. Yeah, so technically mini golf is regular size golf for me, but I still like overcompensate for my size and I always overhit the ball.
Yeah.
There's a long time ago I went to Blacklight mini golf, got hammered with my friend Abby, and I remember we were posting videos all over Instagram, and there's quite a few times you see me overhit the ball.
Yeah, we went to 2 different ones. There was one at the bowling alley, so you get like a combo deal. And then when we left,
so I'm 160 centimeters.
Nice.
There you go.
So then when we left, we were like, "Well, what do we do now?" And we were like, "Well, we could go watch a movie." And at the cinema, there's another like underground mini golf, and it's all based on like a jungle, and it feels like you're in the
fun.
Well, it feels like you're in the caves because Nottingham has a cave system that is literally under the city. So it's really poorly lit. So you were just falling over like lumps because you couldn't see where it was like lumpy on the various courses. So we're constantly getting fucking tripped over and falling all over the place. But yeah, it was a good time. Then we watched Venom: The Last Dance, which was a good film. Honestly, it gets a bit of grief. People kind of dumpster fire on the Venom films, but I thought it was good, dumb fun. I had a giggle. So if anyone wants to watch that, it's worth the watch. Have you two, Pulp, have you been up to anything in the last week or so?
I mean, besides game, I mean, I haven't really been able to do anything. It was my anniversary, our 1 year anniversary on the 28th.
Happy anniversary once again.
Thank you. And on Halloween, it was my 1 year sobriety birthday.
Yeah.
Hey.
Congrats on that as well.
Thank you. So no alcohol, no cigarettes. Actually, I quit both of those at the same day.
Right,
You
right.
absolute animal. Good
I know. But I have started smoking weed again, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I needed a coping mechanism, but no, not too much. I think Kevin and I were watching a few horror movies. We were talking about watching The Substance because I heard good things about that.
I've heard good things. Yeah.
I love me a good body horror, and I love Demi Moore. I want good. I wish nothing but good things for her.
That's fair. That's fair. How about you, Peachy? You been up to anything aside from healing?
Nothing crazy. I've been getting over.
How are you feeling? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so much better. There was a day where I had energy and I was like, oh my God. Because I'd started streaming before then because I like having a roof.
Yeah.
Then on Halloween, 4-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
Sure. We were going to watch scary movies. But my girlfriend was like, I want to watch The Addams Family. I'm thinking, man, I haven't seen that for ages. Yeah, let's watch that. And I forgot how great. Like, I knew it was good, but I forgot
90s
how
version?
good. And that to me, that's The Addams Family. It's that 90s movie one.
It's such a good movie. Like, I haven't seen the newer ones. I don't really like the animation of the newer one that came out. And did you watch Wednesday?
I did. I enjoyed Wednesday.
I watched Wednesday, and I was like, nah, it's fine.
To be honest, I wasn't interested in it.
Because
it seemed very CW for me. So, and I never liked CW shows.
Fair. That's fair.
But I like Jenna Ortega. I loved her in X.
Mm.
And I saw the.
Do you want to explain what CW is to Peachy?
Oh, CW. It's a channel here. Oh, I guess you guys don't have. They show things like Gossip Girl.
Fucking love Gossip Girl.
I don't like shows like that, so they showed what was the Riverdale, like that kind of style, like very teen dramas, and I even
right,
like Dawson's Creek.
But there's a certain level of camp to it too, and drama, and some people really like it. Warner Brothers channel, thank you. I couldn't remember. It's like, that's for some people. I don't care for it. So Wednesday gave me that vibe, and I was like, I'm fine.
That's
I watched a bit of the first one. I was like, nah, this ain't for me.
Yeah,
it's just fine.
Also, I'm very partial to Christopher Lloyd as Fester. Very, very partial. He's so good.
Whenever he's on screen, you can't take your eyes off him because he's so weird. He just pulls it off perfectly.
He embodies the role.
I feel like there's like with every other besides like the original, like every newer version of him, just like it's like kind of goofy more than like actual strange and unsettling.
That's the thing. I like the cartoons, the comic, the original series. Like those aren't really my Addams Family. It was the 90s movie.
Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Those are the two that I grew up with. I had them on VHS. We wore it out.
Family Values. No, great. It's okay.
I love that one.
Oh. I mean,
I love Joan Cusack. She's so great in it. She's so good in it.
It's watchable, but compared to the first one, it's not.
Oh no! Like in comparison to the first one, better.
Was Family Values the one where Fester got married?
Summer camp.
They have a baby.
Yeah, it's where Fester gets married, and then the kids go to the summer camp, and it's like, I'll be the victim all your life.
Yeah. Classics. So
it's such a good movie.
In today's episode, which is...
I also went to Tesco's.
Oh, you went to Tesco?
Oh, Tesco's.
Did you get horse meat?
I did not get horse meat. No, I'm not
eating
Haribo anymore. I did actually get a disappointing Haribo.
Disappointing. How so?
Fruity, delicious, or some shit like that, and not good. The mango tastes like baby sick.
I don't like artificial mango, so I believe you.
Wasn't good.
Gooey. But in today's show, episode 42, which is the answer to life, the universe.
Oh my God, we did it. We solved it.
We solved the world. But we're going to do something a little bit different today. We're trying to introduce a new segment. I'm going to let musical jazz hands. I'm going to let Peachy take the lead because there's some games that he kind of wants to showcase.
Oh, we're doing this first?
Well, we've got loads of Diddy topics that we can probably blast through.
I mean,
if you want to do those first, we can do those first because they are small.
If Peachy wants to explain his idea, I'm all for this idea.
Okay,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, and then we can get back to usual stuff.
I want.
I love this podcast and I love video games and I even enjoy some AAA, but this podcast mostly talks about AAA. So I have been looking at some indie releases that are either coming out or are out now that seem interesting that I haven't played yet. So it's not really, I've just played this game.
Are we bringing up Into the More first?
Yeah, I'll say what I'm saying. I'm going to save the ones that you guys have played for last because I think that'll lead on to some interesting conversation. So Into the More, it's not out yet. It's still to be confirmed.
That name's so familiar. I think I know that one.
It's written MAW, but yeah, it's going for the more. It's a 2 to 4 person co-op space combat adventure where everyone takes on different roles. You get the captain, the pilot, the gunner, and the engineer. So the engineer has to sort out engine stuff, the gunner shoots stuff, that kind of stuff.
Oh, so you're all on the same ship?
Yeah, you're all on the same ship. And it's got a time loop mechanic, and it's got roguelite story elements, which sounds interesting. Like if you don't like what you've just done, you can. I think the engine or whatever you use is called the More. Or the More, the MAW, and you can go back in time and do something different. And it's got these roguelike story elements, which I just thought was really cool. And I like a good co-op game where everyone has different roles and stuff, because at the very least, that's 4 completely different playthroughs, plus the story thing. It's by Moonrise Studios and it's self-published. There's no date on it yet, but it looks like it's coming pretty soon.
It looks really cute.
Actually looks like it could be a giggle. Like
I don't know the names that I thought it was a horror game. That's why I thought I'd heard of it before. And when I just pulled up the Steam page, I was like, oh nope, never mind.
I didn't really do any horror games because I've been playing a lot of horror games on Steam on stream at the moment.
Right.
Next one that looks somewhat interesting is Verballs.
Okay.
It's a 3D platform brawler shooter type third person game. It's got proper Ratchet and Clank vibes with a bit of Kirby in there. So you appear, it's currently out in early access. You appear to be able to take on different elements and do different abilities and stuff.
He just
I think you're a
bean.
I think you're a robot suit and you bring the bean into you to get those different things like Kirby, but the way you go through the level seems very Ratchet and Clank. It seemed pretty cool.
No, it is very Ratchet and Clanky. I like it.
But that's out now in early access for £17.
What game is this?
Verballs.
Verbal, like with a V?
VIR.
Balls.
Verbal.
Verbal Void?
No, just Verballs.
Oh.
Yeah, £70 or 22 of your finest American dollars.
I popped in your chat.
By Chimera Studios.
Oh my god, I misspelled that so bad.
It definitely has a art style to it, I'll say that.
Oh, actually, it's Boulder Games and Chimera Studios are both working on this. They both seem to be smaller developers. There is a publisher on board. I can't remember who that was.
Okay.
We'll save that one for last. Another one, which seemed pretty... These are all really interesting games. I think you'll find... This is why I like playing indie games, because you get ideas and concepts that would never get past the table, because they're like, well, will that make money?
Yeah.
And there's a high cost.
They can take risks.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why indie games interest me. It's called Ascending Inferno. And you won't like from that name, you will not guess what kind of game this is.
Is it a 2D point and click?
It is not.
Okay, damn, I tried.
It's a actually it's a pixel art render, so it's a 3D game.
Oh, I do know this one. It's the soccer player, and he has to kick his brother, who's the spirit ball.
This is so cute.
So it's a precision platformer where you need to get the soccer ball to the end of the level. And you got to dribble it, kick it, whatever, put it in the right place, keep it up while you're jumping over holes and stuff. It looked really cool. I like the style as well. I'm pretty sure it's like a pixel art sort of shader on top of it. It looks great.
The soccer ball is actually his brother as well. Like it's his brother's soul that he's kicking around.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
All right, mark that one off on the indie checklist.
I can definitely see AAA going with that. Yeah, so you're gonna kick your brother around, but he's a spirit ball. Yeah.
He's going, so the football is his brother?
Yeah. Wait, you never kicked your brother around like he's a ball? Amateurs.
This is £13 or 17 of your finest freedom dollars. It's currently 10% off as well. It looked cool if you like.
It looks very cute.
Platformers, and that mechanic of China, of it also being soccer or football.
Yeah,
that's weird. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
And it's even got cosmetics. You can turn yourself into a demon or an angel.
Cool. Oh, can you change him into the volleyball from Castaway?
I don't think you
can. Can you do
that? Wilson,
that was it. I was trying to remember the name.
Awesome. Missed opportunity, man.
That's by Apollyon Studios. It's another self-published game.
Isn't that technically a one-man dev? I want to say. I might be wrong on that though.
I didn't look too much into the studios. It is cool when a game is made by one person, but I don't think it has to be in order to be good.
Yeah.
Or impressive. I don't. It was an interesting idea, and now I know that the football is actually his brother. That just adds to the charm.
It does. I do think that adds to it.
Another one out now, Cold Ridge. I know I've got a lot of viewers who love a bit of 4X. So this is a 4X turn-based hex, tile-based roguelite. It's a fantasy Wild West. So it's like Civilization, but a magic Wild West type theme, which I thought was really interesting.
Right.
The PR info I got was Civ meets Red Dead Redemption. I'm not sure where the magic comes from there, but yeah, there's definitely fantasy elements. What's that? That is 14 quid or $17. Currently of 15% off. That is by Frog Collective. I know people love playing through Civ and that, and this one obviously I assume the roguelike elements are just you can just keep playing it, and the maps might be randomly generated.
Yeah, it works really nice.
Yeah, it is quite nice. I believe the cowboys are also French.
Oh no, I can't play it now.
So I watched the trailer, and the cowboy had a very thick French accent. I'm like,
I wish they were Welsh. That would have been so good. Just a dude comes up on a horse and he's like, "Whose coat is this jacket?" And it's just like...
Yeah, so that Fantasy Wild West 4X game could be cool. One as well. This is how I knew I have the right co-hosts. Is because I mentioned this game, and both of them were like, "Oh, I know that. I played it."
I haven't played it. I got the PR email for it. I actually tweeted about it. I'm going to out them now, but they basically, you may have got the same email, but they're like, "Oh, 50% of our, or over 50% of our player base are women, so we thought you'd be interested in it." And I was like, Are they calling me? Are they calling me a woman, or are they saying something else? Like what? What does that mean?
We need some men to check our shit out.
Like bring us men. So I actually replied to him. I was like, I'm going to pass on this one, but thanks for the opportunity. Just so you know, I'm a guy, and it's implied in your email that you think I'm a woman, just for future opportunities. And they're like, thanks for letting us know. Sorry.
Thanks for letting us know, Brian.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just like,
this game, by the way, is called Vampire Therapist.
It's so charming. I didn't. Full transparency. I've only played like an hour of it, so I'm not that far. When my mom sent it,
because I want to know about the game as well, because I'm probably not going to be able to get around to this one. It's a visual novel comedy, and it uses IRL, CBT, no Brian, not that one, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Kemp loves it.
Yeah, it uses real life concepts in the game, which I thought was super interesting. That is
voice acting's fantastic.
Yeah, that is out now for £14, which is what, $17. Currently 20% off. Little Bat Games, self-published. Now I want to know about the game.
Yeah,
I didn't play that much. That's what I was trying to say.
You've played some, right?
Yeah.
I played the first, like the tutorial.
Right.
And from what I understand, it's you're acting as a therapist for these vampires. Unless I missed something.
Is this the therapist on screen? This like handsome dude in the waistcoat?
Yes. I believe so. Yeah. I told you I only played the beginning, like an hour.
Right.
Can
I help with my?
Is that a cowboy? Is he also French?
French cowboy called Sam.
Oh no, it's the French cowboy, right? The cowboy's the main character. That's right. I got it mixed up.
Okay. And that's the therapist.
It starts off,
so the therapist is also a cowboy. And he's the shrink for vampires.
Yeah, I had to look over and I saw it. And it's like, yeah.
Right. Okay.
And it's actually all the options are all like using cowboy jargon when you first start playing, and then they recontextualize each of the archetypes into like into actual like therapist jargon. I thought that was pretty clever. I haven't had a chance to play more of it, but what I've seen, it's like I could see getting really into it.
Yeah,
this kind of has like dating sim vibes to me. I imagine the audience who are into this are like, oh, I fancy this person, I can fix them, kind of thing. I can see that happening a lot. Do you reckon that's
I mean, if you take an interest in like psychology, I can see this being a really valuable game for you.
Right.
Yeah, the email I got was saying that they were using real concepts that you use in therapy. I thought that was fascinating. And also, thirsty vampires, that's always a fun time, right?
Yeah. Who doesn't want vampires in their game?
Vampires are always sexy. They are the sexy monster.
The sexiest monster.
They are the sexy monster. It's true.
No, they are. They absolutely are.
I've seen Salma Hayek as a vampire. It's true.
There you go.
Real and true.
That was the Indie Roundup, brought to you by Raycons.
We're not sponsored by Raycon, just to be clear.
Not sponsored by Raycon. I can prove it. I don't like Raycons.
Yeah, my child. Kemp's played a lot more of it, so his input is that it's a lot more. It's more emotionally mature.
Right.
Like it actually takes itself seriously.
Right.
Or at least the concepts that they're talking about.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But
I only did all I did was the tutorial, because I think I was just like, I was kind of decompressing after streaming. I was like, I'm gonna check this out, and I haven't got a chance to get back to it.
Wasn't there?
You didn't play it on stream? It's got voice acting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of VNs don't have that because it's not on the budget.
Yeah, no, it's fully. I believe it's fully voice acted, at least as far as I was able to tell.
Oh, okay.
Is that won you over all of a sudden, Peachy?
Well, that's the problem with playing VNs on stream.
It is, yeah.
There's a lot of reading and talking. And
you're 2 hours in, you're like, I went to the kind of thing, yeah. 100%.
I've only got 3 boxes of vocal zones left, so yeah.
I definitely got that.
I mean,
sorry,
Matt Mercer does 2 different characters.
Oh,
Matt Mercer.
Of course he is. He's in everything nowadays. He's a household name. He's got to be in it. Does it have voice acting? Yes, Matt Mercer is in it. Congrats.
Matt Mercer.
There was another game you wanted to talk about, Paul.
I wanted to talk about it. I was sent a key by the developer, but it was called Mouthwashing. It's a indie horror game, and takes place on a broken down freighter in the middle of like they're delivery men, and it's a crew of 5, and they break down like halfway through their delivery, and it's just the whole. It is not for the faint of heart either, despite like the low res graphics, which I really like. I think it adds a lot to its charm. The whole game it's played out in a very fragmented way, like storytelling way, or storytelling structure, sorry. And so you do have to pay attention. Sometimes I unfortunately do not. But it's the way the stylization of everything is very interesting. I'm trying really hard not to spoil it, but basically they're on this freighter, and they break down halfway through this I think it's like a year and a half, like 400 some odd days to deliver their parcel, and they break down, and it's just as all the characters are trying to cope with this and completely like mentally degrading. It's very, very cool. Like the characterization is pretty interesting, and like I said, I like the style. Like it got me a couple times. It's more of like with the exception of like 2 areas in the game, it's more of like just go here and do this, very like walking simulator-esque.
Right.
There's just like 2 main areas that come to mind of like actual like gameplay. Like one was like kind of a stealth section, but all you had to do is just if you ever have phones on, just listen and stop moving when you hear the audio.
Right.
So it's not like it's not exceptionally difficult, and there's like not really any jump scares, but it did get me a couple of times.
Right.
However, like the writing is excellent. There are a couple of scenes like if you're like with that, we're a little bit like gruesome, but it's not that. Well, actually, there's more than a couple scenes, but there is some gruesomeness to it. But yeah, I want to be like super transparent about stuff like that.
Yeah,
because I know like some people are real. Like if you have a sensitive, I don't have a sensitive stomach, so I can kind of play through anything. But yeah, there was a couple of sequences, but the characters.
One of the characters is called Swansea.
Swansea, yeah.
That's a Welsh town.
But I liked it. Like the developers reached out to me and like sent me a key, and I'm very glad I was looking into buying it anyway, and I was like, oh shit, sign me up. And it's short. It is quite short, like maybe like 2.5 hours.
Right.
So you can get into
like horror experiences that are like that.
We talked about that. More. I agree, and I agree with you. Like I think like you weren't here for the Silent Hill 2, because you weren't feeling well. But when we were discussing it, I didn't even get to I didn't mention it then. Like they made the game about like 16 hours long. Like if you go looking for everything, and it felt a little draggy in certain areas because of that. But but I do like more short and sweet horror experiences at times, because a lot of like the effectiveness can be worn off. And if it's like if there is like a concept like a stalker type, there isn't one in here. There's like one like shooting section. That's it. It's like, but it works for it. But like if there's ever like a stalker type, everyone usually gets to that point where you're like, oh my god. Oh my god, you're here.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and once you get to that point in a horror game, it's not scary anymore. You're just
that's true. I've been playing Amnesia the Bunker, and that's got a stalker in it.
I don't like it. I don't like
just
Amnesia.
Short.
Yeah.
The Bunker.
Yeah, I played the Bunker. I played the demo. I didn't like it. I don't like the play style of Amnesia.
I'll talk about it later. But
we'll talk about it later.
It's welcome.
I think you, Peachy, might like this one because it is very short. It's unique in the way they
it's 60 fucking quid. I'm not playing that.
Well, for mouthwashing?
Oh, mouthwashing. I thought you were talking about Silent Hill.
Yeah, mouthwashing isn't that much.
No.
But no, what I was saying is like I think you would like the just it's a very unique approach to everything, like the way they showcase the story. It's very fragmented, so it kind of jumps around and changes perspectives on you. It's clever. It's very clever.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, no, I remember like I saw someone playing it, like a let's play on my was recommended to me, and I saw like the art style, and I was like, ooh, that looks kind of interesting. And I like I said
right there.
and I kind of like gruesome shit sometimes. So, but and with mixed with like the retro graphics. But yeah, no, I can't speak highly enough about this game. I didn't play.
Oh, look at the dithering. Oh, that's cool. That okay, yeah.
I didn't play a lot of I played a few indie like newer indie horror games, but like this is the one that stuck out to me, and I couldn't stop playing it. I very rarely play through a game like to its entirety in one playthrough usually. Like I sometimes have to take a break, but it's that short, so it didn't feel like a slog at any point. Like there's a couple parts where you're like, oh, I thought it was over, but it's not like that, like in a bad way. It's just like you thought you were at the ending and it wasn't. But I legitimately enjoyed everything about it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'll dig in the style.
Yeah.
The stylization is very intriguing.
But I definitely feel in particular Peachy would like it. Just some like the story structure and everything. Like
it does look like a Peachy game.
It's a very much a Peachy game.
What does that mean?
It means a game that you're very likely to play. What else would it mean?
But you like very like you're very big on like some of the paying attention to the creativeness behind in some of these indie titles, and I think like the way the story is presented to you, I think you'll really dig. Like if like for example, like it's not really a spoiler, but like there's like for example, like sometimes you'll be in the middle of a sequence and just out of nowhere like your game glitches out and I thought my game crashed a couple times and it's like nope, that was intentional. They wanted you to think that.
Right.
And there's
Milan did that to me and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so like there's a few like the way they present everything is like very interesting and like it'll cut away to like to present and then it'll cut back to the past then come back. It's like, and I like that because you're trying to, it feels like more like you're putting together a puzzle.
It looked like you were picking Jimmy's nose there because your mouse pointer was just below his nose and I thought you were doing it on purpose. Sorry, continue. I got distracted.
I probably was. You don't know.
Could be.
No, I mean, I'm just going to sing praises about it. I don't want to spoil anything about the story. The only thing, like I said, I just felt the need to say is like, because I know a couple people didn't like, there's like a sawing motion.
Right.
Like, so yeah, there's a couple like pretty gross. Like even I was like, there's one at the end that I kind of got like, oh God. And that's very rare for me to go like, oh. Right.
Some gooey bits. Swansea is an ugly motherfucker. Just putting that out there.
How dare you?
Dude, they're nuts. I'm from Cardiff. Don't say that. Oh, the character. Sorry.
But yeah, no, I don't want to spoil anything about the story. If you're interested in it, it's like it's a short but sweet.
Quotes, very sweet.
How many hours did you put in?
It took me like 2.5 maybe. Bear in mind, like since I was streaming and I get kind of like turned around easily, I have ADHD, so I do that sometimes. If it didn't take me long, and that's why like it's very rare that I'll start a game and like beat it on stream, like in the same day I started playing it. Because I usually start getting like, I don't know, like I either lose interest or I get a little bit like
you get like fatigued by it.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. And I like it's so, or I always need to take a break from something, and like I just could not put this game down.
That's a pretty good endorsement from yourself there. That's available on Steam, yes?
Yeah. It's on Steam.
Nice. Go wish listed, boys and girls.
Let me go take a look. I have it pulled up. So it is $12.99.
$12.99
American.
Yeah, it's like a tenner, I think.
Yeah, and it's like all the reviews are overwhelmingly positive, so it's like I'm clearly not the only person who thought that about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with shorter games because value means different things to different people, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Pulp and Peachy have a doubling effect on their mics.
What?
Do
Let me double check. See, last time we were told this was during the what you call it, during the spoiler
Oh
cast.
yeah, Cat.
And
I guess Cat Link's audio is doubled up or echoing.
Well, I checked and it wasn't, and then in the second half it was, is when it doubled up. So it was like, because I tried to fix it and the fix ended up making it.
Pulp's audio sounds weird. Sounds like it's phasing with itself.
Is it?
But not in this call, just on my stream.
Oh, that's interesting.
I know. Well, if you want to continue talking.
What was that? There was that one game that you recommended while he's figuring that out. There was one game that you recommended, Peachy, that
Zero Protocol.
Yes, I did check it out. I got lost.
Yeah.
I got lost a lot. It's a very, very cool game. I need to go back to it. I think I got a few hours and
it's a brain teaser.
Yeah.
It's not super long. I think 8.5 hours it took me to play.
Yeah, I remember you said that. And because I had a whole bunch of horror games that I was streaming and I didn't want to spend too much time on, like, if one game took me too long, I started losing interest, you know, I would just like cut to the next one because
I also got a lot of games to get through.
I played through that one. It is very, very cool. I think I got like 2 or 3 hours in and but that was 2 or 3 hours of me like dicking around trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of those old school puzzles.
No, I dig it. That's a cool game.
I like the presentation of that as well.
Yeah,
it reminds me of like PlayStation 1 kind of vibe, but obviously shit that you couldn't do on the PlayStation 1. I
really like that a lot of indie developers are like taking advantage of that old school like PS1, or early PS2 graphics.
A lot of these smaller developers, that's where they cut their teeth, right? The first games I played were fucking squares on a screen. Do you know what I mean? But people who are enthused by creating games, PlayStation was the original PlayStation was like the original console that they were playing on.
Yeah.
Can I just get you to both hold for a moment, just for fixing purposes? Sorry, bear with me. We'll be right back, chat, promise. Jeez. Where's the audio option gone? Peachy, a moment, can you speak? Okay,
outwardly.
Now. Speak again, sorry?
Words, again, outwardly from my mouth, projected, some might say, with my voice.
Is Peachy doubled, chat?
Chat, is Peachy, am I doubled? Refer to myself in the third person.
So much
it's
worse.
So much worse.
I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong.
Shall we take our break now?
Can do, and then we'll do a longer second half.
Yeah, I mean it's only 10 minutes before we take our break, right? So, is it?
Yeah, we'll go into the second half. So we'll take a quick break. We're going to use that opportunity to fix the sound, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about all the games. Let me just unmute Paul. Sorry, Paul. I'm trying to fix everything.
I was pulling up.
No worries. Cool. So we'll BRB and enjoy us talking and testing in the meantime, and get yourselves a drink and a snack and whatnot. BRB.
I have a snack.
I'm right here, Brian.
You are the snackiest of Peaches. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of the Fully Rendered podcast. I apologize if you hear a slight doubling. It is something that I've yet to ascertain the cause of, because I don't hear it, so it makes it so much worse. But it's something we will endeavor to get sorted for the next episode. So very many apologies from myself there.
Hopefully the audio isn't too bad. Sorry.
Twat. But
It probably sounded so nice if it's doubled up.
Yeah, the echo as well.
I'm pretty sure.
Right.
It's probably the only time I've used it to just call you a twat in such a long time. I always forget I've got those effects. But yes, so we'll continue with the show. We'll march on, as it were. So we're going to cover a couple of topics. Just a quick dive into the industry news. There's lots of small things. First and foremost, if you were excited for Concord to come back free to play, sucks to be you. The studio has been shut down, unfortunately. Firewalk Studios was shut down along with another studio. I know.
Shocker.
I think some people were like kind of hoping because they were updating the Steam version still, but I think that was just people at the studio who were like, I've got these things that I was working on and I'm bored because we've not been told what we're doing, and they were just uploading shit because they had nothing better to do. But yeah, it's been completely shut down. So again, I suppose, what does that mean for the secret level episode or whatever they're going to be doing? Are they going to keep it in? Are they going to scrap that as well? Because that's a lot of money.
It's going to be scrapped.
Surely it has to, yeah.
Like Sony are just going, no.
They're just accepting the loss.
Do we know if those developers are just being let go or they've been moved into other Sony projects?
At least most of them, as far as more lost their job. I'm sure some of them may have been retained, like maybe some senior folk, but as far as I'm aware, most of them lost their jobs.
Like the project manager whose fault this probably is.
Quite possibly,
I don't know that. I'm
yeah.
just spitballing.
Yeah. But,
that really sucks, dude.
It is unfortunate, yeah. But the writing was on the wall, unfortunately, wasn't it? The next bit of news, this one tickled me greatly because it just kept getting better and better. So our favorite, this news segment is called "What Has Fntastic Done Now?" So Fntastic.
Wait, I got a theme tune for that.
What has Fntastic done now? So they've already abandoned whatever the fuck it was called. I always forget. Escape Factory. They've already abandoned Escape Factory because the Kickstarter.
You mean the asset that they just bought wholesale and posted on Steam?
The asset flip they made, yeah,
Right.
that they wanted $15,000 for. They managed to get around about, I think it was 2,000 something. It was 20,000 Singaporean dollars, so I think that's about 15,000 US, and therefore about 2,000 US dollars that they earned, for lack of a better phrase. Unfortunately, though, the way Kickstarter works is if you don't get the target, or rather, fortunately, if anything, for the people who put their money into it, they don't get any of the money. So if you don't hit the target, the money goes back to the people that contributed. So what are they doing instead? Well, they're now developing a new game, and they're going to call it Items, because many people, their words, were really begging for a prop hunt type game. And they
that's the only game people have ever mentioned from them that they want to play, so there is truth there.
Yeah, so there's Prop Night. It's the only game they actually fully released and supported. People did enjoy it. People did play it. It wasn't massively popular. I think it was only a few hundred concurrent players at any point. But they're bringing out this new game called Items, which I've dubbed Prop Night 2.0. And that, once again...
because they don't own the rights.
Yeah, they allegedly lost the rights to Prop Night, so that's a confusing story in itself.
They are still fantastic.
But they are still fantastic, yeah.
So how the fuck does that work?
No idea.
Is it lies?
No idea.
It's probably all lies, like everything else that's been...
I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying it's lies. I'm just asking, is it lies?
Just asking questions.
Many lies. But
I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking questions over here.
some internet sleuths have been in their Discord, and they're currently running a competition where players of the game, or future players of the game, can create and design levels for the game, and whoever wins will get a copy of the game. So there's that free labor again. Or goodwill. Maybe they're calling it goodwill. Yeah, so they had the FAQ saying we're not going to use free labor anymore. And then in the same FAQ, or in their document that they announced, in the FAQ it said, we may have people who work on goodwill basis. And now they're doing a competition where the prize is a copy of the game to design a whole ass level for said game.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Was that lies?
It was probably lies. I imagine it is one of many, many, many lies. And what else was there? There was and to fund the game, to fund items, they're going to use whatever money they get from mobile games that they're going to make as well. How do they fund the development of the mobile games?
Well, the normal way, you make a game and then people pay you for the game. Are they learning what game dev is?
Well, my theory is mobile is significantly easier to asset flip on.
Right.
Because it's a bit more Wild West. It's not so closely regulated, for lack of a better word. It's not scrutinized as much as, say, PC games are. So I think they're just going to make a fuckload of asset flips on mobile. And then, allegedly, any funds they get from those mobile games, they're going to put towards developing
the next
items.
Asset flip. I mean, items.
Their PC asset flip, yeah. So it's all just fantastic, doing fantastic things, I suppose. It's a very peculiar story, but that's the end of what is Fntastic doing now, or whatever we said at the beginning. The next thing.
Was that lies?
Was it lies? That should be the segment. Yeah. Was that lies? Subtitle Fntastic. So the next thing, have you guys seen this? Nintendo are releasing a app which is basically Spotify but for Nintendo music. Nintendo owned properties.
No, I have not heard that.
Yeah,
that sounds very Nintendo.
I don't know if it just works on the Switch, but they've basically, it's probably to go with their alarm clock as well. I don't know if you saw the alarm clock, but yeah, there's a dedicated app.
I think I did actually.
Yeah, the alarm clock that watches you sleep and then will play Nintendo sound effects as you wake up and stuff. But if there's two of you in the bed, it doesn't work. So they know who they're targeting.
It doesn't sound invasive whatsoever.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. But their latest other weird thing.
Like OSTs from like old games, or
so
just the license stuff.
So there are some OSTs on there. There's like weird playlists, like the Link playlist and stuff like that. But there are some OSTs that are just straight up not on there as well. There's not a lot of Zelda, for example.
Honestly, I don't hate it. I think it would because a lot of like Nintendo games are like
no.
You don't hate it yet. What if I told you it was paid?
I would pay.
Yeah, you have to pay.
I mean, that's
okay. But what I mean is the idea itself. I don't hate. How about that?
Right.
Because like if you have young kids and they want to listen to their favorite like Mario, or whatever it is, because like that kids are really gonna like that. And there's no risk of like things like Spotify of the kids them ending up in the Wild West and somewhere where they shouldn't be.
True.
So the idea itself, I don't hate. Yeah, I don't hate that part.
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be paid.
Where you can get OSTs for games. That's okay. That's cool.
Yeah,
you can buy OSTs on Steam.
The idea itself isn't terrible. It's also kind of greedy.
It's also kind of narrow in scope, I suppose. Like I said, there's not actually that many of their properties on there. Like I think they've got like 1 or 2 Zelda game OSTs, and then the rest are all missing. So I don't know why.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, music licensing is fucking weird anyway. But
yeah. I mean, I could
only be
see
their first party stuff.
I really don't want to be such a like, oh fuck Nintendo on this one, because I could see it not being like the worst idea in the world.
Not fuck Nintendo yet, because the next thing to think about, and this is mostly a creator problem. This is a first world creator problem. But if they are going to the effort to making a paid service for their music, what does that mean for creators who have got uploads,
games,
let's plays, things like that, where the OST is playing?
It's going to give them an opportunity to
DMCA. Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, there are some channels that have already been DMCA'd, and they're the channels that are literally like, here is the OST kind of thing. But obviously, you've got the risk of let's plays where the entire soundtrack could be playing in like a 10-hour video or something like that. So it's,
now we can go back. There's Nintendo.
Yeah, so do be wary if you are a creator that's listening and you play a lot of Nintendo IP. You could get happy slapped with a DMCA. Hopefully not. Hopefully they will be a little bit more mindful. Maybe in the Nintendo Creators Program.
Mindful with creators.
That's precisely why I'm so hesitant to ever play Nintendo games on my stream.
Same.
It's Nintendo, and then like most recently, I think it was Kingdom Hearts.
I would.
That one got DMCA'd a lot. I ended up abandoning ship on that.
I would pay a subscription to an app that gives me the old NES OSTs and Super Nintendo. I would do that.
I agree with that because I think that there's a lot of value in that.
I listen to that shit anyway. I mean, most of them are on my PC, but like, I would just put, if there was a Spotify version that I can just stick on.
Would you do it if you were reliant initially on just hearing that stuff for free on YouTube?
Well, I am basically.
So what I'm saying is, like, say you are someone who actively participates in listening to those types of soundtracks, and then your free stuff got taken away.
I mean, that would suck, but those artists made those songs, and a lot of early
I'm with Peachy on this one.
I suspect the artists aren't getting the money though. I think it is going to Nintendo.
When I say shit like that, I fully expect the artist to be paid for their work.
The problem with DMCAs is the money isn't any like ad revenue that's being taken away by the creator is not going to the artist. So that's the problem I have with that. But I am with you, and like I would rather the composers get the compensation over, you know,
a lot of modern games, the OST will be on by that artist's YouTube that I would listen to. But I'm talking about the early stuff, like Castlevania. An early Castlevania has just, oh my god, I can't remember her name, but the composer for that, she was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. And that's the biggest shame is like whenever it comes to DMCA stuff is like those composers are not seeing a cent when they get DMCA'd by like Nintendo or something. But I do agree with you because like I personally don't use Spotify. I don't use streaming services for that. Like I prefer to purchase my music when I can. But like
I do use Spotify.
No, I mean, and there's nothing.
And I have my own music on Spotify.
There's nothing wrong with you choose to use Spotify. I prefer to support the artists directly. So, and I've worked in music before, and I've learned like how little compensation they receive. So it's more of like out of consideration for the artist. So that's the way I look at it. But I can see the value if like something like a service like that was to be also directly compensating the composers who worked on these games, that would be one thing. But I don't think that's going to be happening.
Yeah, I think the idea goes in Nintendo's pocket, unfortunately.
Right, and that's so like the idea itself as like just the general concept. I am not against it. I think having a streaming service dedicated solely to the gaming OSTs, especially because like I said, like if you can even look at this as with things like even just children in mind of like because I know like my nephews love like Super Mario soundtracks and stuff like that, and I would prefer them having like one safer area of like this is just dedicated to that than going on Spotify and then having them like either they fuck around with it or just something like auto rolls over to something that you don't really want them being exposed to. So there's a lot of good things you can look at from this sort of thing, but it's you also brought up the negatives of, and I can DMCA you, and obviously we know the compensation is not going directly to the composers. It's good. It's just landing in Nintendo's pockets. So,
it should be, and that would be a really cool app that I would subscribe to.
I agree.
That's not what it is. So.
Sorry, I had to mute my mic because there's fireworks going off, so I didn't know if you guys could hear it.
That was.
Yeah, sorry.
If there is like shit that's hitting my roof a lot, it's been doing it all morning. I'm shocked it's not happening all while we've been recording, but because of the snow.
Right.
She lives in the Nevada desert.
No, I thought that was me. That's why I was pointing that out. Like I'm shocked it's not my roof because it's like, oh, it's you. Oh, thank God.
No, it's bonfire night in 3 days. So from like a couple of days before Halloween up until New Year's, and then a couple of weeks afterwards, it's just fireworks pretty much every day. Some silly bastard was doing it at 2 a.m. the other day, literally right outside my house, probably in the street, and it was just a perpetual like constantly, and I was like, do you think you're funny? It's not Mickey night yet, mate, you dickhead, kind of thing, because in the UK it's on the 4th, so fuck those kids. But anyway, sorry, what were we talking about? Oh yes, the Nintendo app, that was it.
Good concept, but probably not going to be followed through correctly by Nintendo.
Yeah. One to probably elaborate on that, why I don't think it's going to go to the artists is usually in these situations where you pay an artist to create the music, they are buying the music, license, commercial, everything with it. So then the person gets paid for making it. Very rarely are residuals in there unless it's like specifically put into the contract, which is something you have to usually have quite a bit of power. Like if you're a really big name, you can get that. So yeah, I suspect it's mostly just lining Nintendo pockets, unfortunately. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case. So, oh yeah.
Tell me about Ubisoft. God.
So I've put this in the doc as in 2024, the year of our Lord Beyonce, Ubisoft has released an NFT game. Some of the NFTs are $63,000.
Why?
So you can buy like champions or something. I think it's supposed to be like a PvP game or something, and you can just buy.
Cool? I have a question.
I can't
Bryan.
remember. It's just.
I think I have a very good question. How the fuck do you make an NFT game?
So.
Oh, you can't, but they will try.
So.
What is an NFT game? Please explain for the class because I am a big dum who don't know.
So the idea is that assets in the game are unique to whoever buys them. So if you buy a specific hero that they've made in this game, you are the only person who owns it, basically. They tried to do it with another game where you could buy cosmetics and you'd like it would have a number on the cosmetic and stuff like that. So that was your cosmetic.
Oh yeah, like brown camo pants number 407.
Yes, stupid shit like that. But obviously that didn't work. In some ways, it kind of works a little bit how the Steam marketplace works with some cosmetics. So you could trade them with other people, but obviously on Steam you can have duplicates and stuff like that. So it's like that, but there's allegedly no duplicates because they're all non-fungible.
So Ubisoft wants money.
Well, Ubisoft are actually going through a lot of shit at the moment. They were toying with going private.
This is not helping your case at all.
Well, they've been losing, they've been hemorrhaging stock prices. Their stock is going down quite a bit. They just closed down the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown project. So they were like, no more. They were down for doing a second game, but they were like, no, we've moved everyone to different projects and stuff like that. But there'll be some more Prince of Persia soon. There was rumors.
That cash cow.
Oh no, definitely not. But there were rumors of them going private. So Tencent and the Gilmour family just buying out the rest of the shareholders, and then just going private and seeing what they could do with that. Apparently, that is an option they may yet still consider. But they've actually been doing a load of pro-consumer decisions. Like with Assassin's Creed, is it Mirage, the new one, the Japanese one? They're getting rid of the early access to it, so no more paid early access. They've done a couple of other things where they're like, oh yeah, we need to win back goodwill, so they've just done a load of pro-consumer shit. But yeah, Ubisoft are not doing great, and there's still rumors of the whole sexual assault and sexual harassment stuff going around. There's some studios that still haven't cleaned up their act. They've got, I don't know, it's something like 40 something studios under their banner, and there's some that was still really, really bad up until March this year. And that was all outed in 2020. So yeah, Ubisoft doing Ubisoft things. But that's all from the.
I'm sorry, it's hard to feel bad for them doing that.
Yeah, it's why I don't play their games, to be honest. But it is what it is.
So they made an NFT game, which
I think they just pushed out the door because they had made it, and they're like, oh, fuck it, let's see what happens.
They were working on when the NFTs got off, they were like, oh, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, they're gonna do a bunch of them.
It's so crazy how the lack of awareness some of these companies have, where it's or people in general who have when it comes to NFTs, thinking that that's ever going to be received well.
Well, it does feel like the larger a company, the more short-sighted they appear to be.
Oh, absolutely. It's just as soon as you said it, I'm I don't know anybody who's always going, woo, NFTs. Well, can't wait.
It's quite funny because
they're all on Twitter.
Yeah, true. But I've actually got a little bit of insight into this because of the audiobook that I mentioned the other day, the Play Nice one by Jason Schreier. And he goes through the entire history of Blizzard. Blizzard didn't have a CFO, a chief financial officer, until 2018. And
Really?
that was after the Titan project was in development for 7 years and got canned. And then Bobby was like, we want someone to keep an eye on you. You should get a CFO. And the CFO that came in was one of Bobby's guys, or recommended by Bobby. Prior to that, the way Blizzard hired, including for like chief suite positions, you had to be a gamer. You were literally grilled on being a gamer before you could even get the job. And that was like their like tenant for decades from the very beginning. And then the non-gamers got involved, such as the CFO. I can't remember his name. His surname begins with V. And I want to say Virendi, but that sounds too much like the company that used to own them, which is Vilendi, I think. But yeah, so they brought in the CFO who used to work in like diapers and stuff like that for other companies and made bank. And then he started bringing in all these monetization options, and he was like, well, why can't you do this? Why can't you do a battle pass? Why can't you blah, blah, blah? And that's why you suddenly saw this influx of monetization and products or games being designed around monetization. Like with Hearthstone, they were constantly like, oh, okay, let's do free packs, let's do these packs, let's do these packs, let's do things like expansions and stuff like that. All they wanted to do was make more cards and like cool modes that were free, like the bar mode, whatever it's called, the inn or something. That was like free. The CFO suite were like, why the fuck is this free? What are you doing? You could be making money from these people, like stuff like that. So I reckon it's something similar at Ubisoft. It's people who are not gamers, who are not involved in, like, tied into the system, who are just like, this is going to make money. It's NFTs. NFTs made lots of money. Let's push it out. Let's see if people will buy it. They probably know that they won't do very well, but they'll know some people will blow NFTs. I'm still on that hype, and spend 64 grand. And then they can go, ha, suckers, bye, kind of thing. When in 2 weeks,
they're looking for bag holders.
Yeah, in 2 weeks' time, they're all $6 each, and it's just like, well, you know, bought it and agreed to whatever EULA or whatever at the time, so it sucks to be you. That's my theory. I think they know it was going to flop, but they're just going to bleed as much money as they can whilst they're doing it. But it is what it is. Peachy, you've been playing games.
Bryan.
Do you want to tell us about the games you've been playing? You've been doing all the horror.
I'd love to hear this.
Oh,
Also,
yeah, well...
I feel like it's been a while since we've seen you, so it's nice to hear what you've been doing.
I've missed a couple of podcasts.
No, it's, I mean, you've been
the
sick.
beef that we had has all been cleared up now.
Get back in jail.
This beef.
No, I mean, you've been sick, so it's like, and we understand.
You know what I was playing while I was sick constantly, because I just, like, brain fog. I was just too ill to move. I had no energy. I got back into Minecraft.
Hey,
Really?
dude, Minecraft is a very relaxing game.
I mean, I've been playing since beta, which is like 15 fucking years, by the way. But there's a new update. I mean, there's always a new update for Minecraft, but there was a large one. And yeah, offline, I was playing that. And when I started feeling a bit better, I was playing Dead Cells again, because I got the Castlevania DLC, and it's a banger. Dead Cells is a cracking game. You lather some fucking Castlevania shit on there, and I'm sold. But that's
They're
what I've been
making a
playing.
new game as well, aren't they? I forgot what it's called, but I can't remember. No, it's not the 33 Immortals. I think that's something else. But there's another game they're making where it's going to be like a roguelike, but 3D.
Oh,
like
I'm not
top-down.
sure.
I can't remember what it's called though. But sorry, continue.
I know it was recently a year of Castlevania. Actually, it wasn't recently. I think it was the start of the year. But yeah, I've finally played it, and that's good.
Sorry, Windblown is the new game they're making.
Windblown.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that, because I really like Dead Cells, and the devs seem to be good people, and they know their shit, which is a nice mix. Well, what have I been playing? I played a bunch of horror games, but I was ill for a week, so I didn't stream. But I played some Graveyard Keeper, which now Spooky Month is over, I'm just playing on stream, because it's very, very good. It's very busy work and very grindy, but there is something in there. It's like Stardew Valley, but you're a mortician / graveyard keeper thing.
Yeah.
It's cool. There's a lot going on there. It's quite grindy, but I've been playing that on stream. I did Little Nightmares, which I hadn't been played before. My girlfriend took me onto that.
You never played it before?
No, I never played it. because it just doesn't like, okay, you know, creepy. I like a bit of
I
creepiness.
mean, they're short, cute little
That's
horror
not
games.
usually what I'd play, right? But it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I finished it. It's pretty short, like 2 streams, what, 8 hours, something like that. No,
Yeah.
3.5 hours. I must have done it in 1 stream. Banger! What an absolute banger!
I played both of them for the first time. I think it was last year. I want to say, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. I always had them in my library, but for the same reason, like I heard great things. I never got around to playing them, and when I went through the first one, I was like, whoa, this is really good.
Very creepy, very morbid, very
I love
Ghibli-esque.
the creature designs.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the little bit of a twist at the end as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you play the second one?
No, I just played the one.
I think you might like the second one a lot.
After playing that, I'm definitely going to play the second one because it was just really, really good.
They're currently developing.
They're both very, very good.
Yeah, they're currently developing a third one. However, it's not the original creators. It's just the studio that owns the IP.
I think the people who worked on Little Nightmares, they're doing Animal, which looks very much.
Oh yeah, that's on my wish list as well.
That's on my wish. Both Little Nightmares 3 and Animal are on my wish list because I'm curious how the co-op is going to work in Little Nightmares 3 because
it's going to be
co-op can make things kind of like reduce the tension when you have someone else there, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I love co-op especially with horror because it's fun to do stuff together. So it'll be interesting.
The thing is, you say release the tension until the person who you're playing with is fucking up, and you're like, "We're gonna die because of you! Come on, like kind of thing," and you're just like raging at them. Like,
I meant like the stuff that would be scary sometimes. Like, but I mean, but at the same time, like, I mean, I look who I play with.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's
fair. And my big game, the one that Halloween was all building up to, was Amnesia: The Bunker, and it's probably one of my favorite horror games.
Really?
I really dig that. It doesn't outstay its welcome. The last level, which is you have to deal with the stalker, was just annoying. It was just annoying, but you know, the last level of a horror movie game,
I want to like
kind of
Amnesia. Like we were talking about this pre-show, like because I actually started playing Soma on my stream, and I'm gonna go back to it. But like
all those games come from the original Amnesia, right?
Yeah. I heard really, really good things about Amnesia and especially Soma.
I love the original Amnesia. I think it's a really good game. It's a lot longer than The Bunker, but I think it's really good. It's a very early stalker game where you're powerless and the thing's trying to kill you, right?
And that's what I was saying what we were talking about is like I don't really like stalker horror games. Like I genuinely don't. Like I've given a lot of chance.
I think it's hard to do a stalker game and give the player agency.
Right.
I think The Bunker does that very well.
I've heard that, and I only played the demo, and I remember getting kind of like, I think I got stuck somewhere. I couldn't figure out what to do next. And
it's very cryptic. You have to pay attention to the things you're picking up. You might miss stuff as well. And you're like,
I think that's what happened. So I don't have that much of any opinion besides that. That was my experience, so I didn't really care for it in that regard. But
a couple of hours in, the game made my brain go, "Oh, I can think about this and I can find a solution." So I'm like, "Oh, well, I'd need something to do this. Oh, there is an ammo store here. Maybe this will," and I'd go looking for those things. And every outing is an adventure, and it's like, well, do I want to use my fuel and go and do this thing to try and make me a bit stronger so I can do the next thing? Or do I want to save my fuel so I'm going to be more powerful the next thing? The problem solving and decisions you need to make, I really, really enjoyed. You get a gun.
From my understanding, that's new. That's new to the series, right?
Yeah. There is something about a gun that does feel like it gives you a bit of agency, but it's you reload a bullet at a time. You don't know how many bullets you got until you hold the button down and physically look how many bullets you got in your gun. So it's not like you get the gun, oh, I'm not scared anymore. No, I was, apart from the final
Yeah, I
level.
remember. Like, I think even with the reload too, is you can only you can reload one at a time, so it's like very realistic in that aspect.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just listening. I thought that was a banger, and that goes on my horror list. That it has games like Alien Isolation on it. That's
Alien Isolation is a great horror game.
That's a stalker game. The outstays.
Yeah, I know. No. I mean, like I played my share of soccer games, and there are certain areas in like Alien. Like I remember towards the end where there was two of them. Like I could not stand that part. But
in Alien Isolation, I figured out the AI of the alien. It wasn't scary anymore. For the life of me, I could not figure out the stalker in this one. I could not figure it out at all. So I never felt safe. I started feeling safe near my safe house, and then they went, "No, here's the stalker." I'm like, "What?"
Surprise, motherfucker!
That's been a new thing I've noticed with games where like safe houses are no longer safe anymore.
It's the AI is pretty good. I could not.
That's good.
Maybe if the game was longer, I could have.
I'll have to give that one another chance then, because like I'm basing my opinions on the demo. But I've always heard, and I've heard good things about it. Like I'm playing, like I said, I started Soma. I only got like about 2 hours in, and so it's the similar concept.
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's a stalker game, right? So yeah. There is a game as well. Actually, this isn't related because I haven't been playing this. But there is a co-op extraction shooter with no PvP called Forever Winter. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
No. Go on.
This, it was brought up on my stream, and I thought I knew what the game was, and I was like, "Oh, it's that thing," and they were like, "No," and I looked it up. It is proper grimdark, cyber, post-apocalyptic hell, where your co-op team of 4, I believe. You go into the zone and do the extraction thing that you would do in an extraction shooter, but there's no PvP. It's all PvE co-op.
Right.
And what I don't like about extraction shooters is PvP.
Fair.
I don't like PvP.
It's just not for me, right? I know people dig that, but and that's just not what tickles my fancy. This looks banging. I think it's out in early access. It is out in early access. The trailer for it, the lead developer or owner of the company, I'm not sure, it was basically like, "Hey, you know all that," and then says a bunch of AAA bullshit. There's not going to be any of that. Like, that is up front in the trailer for the game. He's like, "You know all that bullshit? I don't like it. It's not in here."
Right.
So I was like, "Okay, I'm listening to the rest of your pitch." And then they just showed some stuff from the game, and it's really grimdark. It scratches the itch I have for grimdark stuff. That's why I like Warhammer.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Extraction shooter removes the PvP I dislike, doesn't have or isn't. They have said that it's not going to have all that AAA bullshit. And the look of this game is just like, wow, that is really fucking cool. And it's all PvE.
What did you say it was called again? Sorry.
It's called Forever Winter. Do you want a link?
Winter. Yes, please.
General. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
It's out now in early access for like
Forever Winter, thank you.
$24.99.
I'll have to give that a game.
$30, something like that.
Definitely gonna check that one out. Were there any other games?
No. Well, Factorio's released its DLC.
Yes.
Which is bigger than the original game. It is a £30 DLC, but that game has been out for years.
Yeah, there's an expansion, like a proper expansion as well.
It's like another game, I'm being told.
Right off the back of Satisfactory as well, going 1.0. People are like, "No, we how do I hold all these factory sims?"
Yeah. I mean, they're both very good. I think I will take a look at Space Age. That's the name of the DLC. A bit later on down the line. I'm not ready for a deep dive into Factorio yet because I'm still looking forward. It looks like update 42 for Project Zomboid is coming soonish.
Right,
They've
right.
had external testing now, so I think I'm gonna wait for that. We'll see. That's what I'm interested in at the moment.
Very good. I will talk about not games, because the only games that I've been playing, well, I'll briefly talk about games. Obviously, you guys know that I played Final Fantasy 16. I finished that the other day.
What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think it's a very good game. I don't like doing arbitrary numbers, but I do think it's like... I agree with like the Metacritic score and stuff like that. I think it definitely is like a high 80, low 90 game kind of thing.
It's a good game, objectively. Like it, I don't like it as a Final Fantasy, but I like it. I like it as a game. It's
It was giving me mad hand cramp though on the controller. I don't know why. Like after 2 hours, I was getting really bad cramps, so I'd have to like walk around and like shake my hands off. But I followed it up with God of War Ragnarok. I've only played about 2 hours of God of War Ragnarok so far.
That's such a... I really loved Ragnarok.
I just mentioned, obviously, I don't like doing arbitrary numbers, but for the sake of, like, example, I'm going to use arbitrary numbers. If I was to say the voice acting, so the actual acting was an 8 out of 10, and then the writing for Final Fantasy...
okay.
Is an 8 out of 10. And then the writing, maybe a 7. It was a little bit cringe sometimes, but funny and cool at other times. So probably about a 7. I've only played about an hour or two of God of War, and it is not even fucking close. Like, if they're at 8 and a 7, it's 11-11 for God of War. It is so stark.
Sorry, it's like... I was agreeing with you. Like God of War's writing is fantastic. Like
immediately, like just having the conversations at the beginning of the game and just watching it, and I was just so much more enthralled. And obviously the level of detail is substantially higher, I would say, in God of War, because their engine is just obscene, and like the beard detail and everything.
The thing that blew my mind about like the engine is it wasn't... I didn't notice it when I was playing it. Everything's just a one shot.
Yeah, there's a lot
just
of that.
Like there's no cuts. It just keeps like just swooping the camera around, and it's like it's very clever.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm very much looking forward to it, but at the same time, it's made me go, wow, Final Fantasy 16 was a Game of the Year contender. And then I look at God of War Ragnarok and I was like, that's a Game of the Year contender. It's so phenomenally... Like,
I'm excited to hear you go through the rest of it.
Kind of thing. Yeah,
there's parts of the game like way later. Like there's a post-ending scene that's really, really, really good. No spoilers, sorry.
Yeah.
Like I'm very interested to hear your thoughts about it when you've gone through it, because I really... Like I didn't care for the original trilogies on the PS2, like PS2 and PS3. Well, it wasn't really my cup of tea. A little too edgelord.
Yeah.
But man, did they turn around with these two?
Yeah. 100%.
Especially Ragnarok.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good time. Obviously, there was Diablo 4. Wait for a sale is what I'm going to say to that. I'm going to do a proper review for both the story and lore and for the actual systems and stuff, and they'll go on my YouTube. But TLDR, wait for a sale. Like you'll have fun, but it's not $40 fun, to be honest. What I want to talk about is 2 shows that I've watched recently. One of them I actually watched a couple of months back, but I forgot to bring it up. At least I think I did. I didn't talk to you about the interview with the vampire series, did I?
We spoke about that because I was like, there's an interview to the vampire show.
The interview, yeah, there is. I haven't seen it.
It is good. Like it is
heard a lot about
so
it.
Good. Like especially if you're a fan of like 2 big gay vampires. Like
it's very gay.
Like there's a lot. There is a lot of homoeroticism in it. So if that's like your fetish or whatever, knock yourself out.
Talk about vampires. Like vampires are very sexual. Like that's why I was trying to like be like they're the sexy monster, because that's like kind of their lore, is that they're very sexualized,
charismatic.
And like because their whole thing is like about seduction,
risen with vampirism.
So that's why like they're being like like it being like very, very gay. It's like shocker.
Yeah. But as a show, it's actually really, really good. The guy who plays I always forget his bloody name. Not Lestat, but the one that Louis, yeah. So Louis is played by the bloke who did Grey Worm in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Who I didn't even realize for like the first like 7 episodes.
I didn't realize it was him either.
And then suddenly there was like a
a
face like shot of him, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's Grey Worm," kind of thing. And it just dawned on me. But like the acting's like phenomenal.
The whole time he's like, he doesn't have a dick.
He doesn't have a dick. He doesn't know. But yeah, it's really, really, really good show. The way it's shot is very exceptional. The acting, like everyone does their role really, really, really well. Like the guy who plays Lestat is impeccable, honestly, like way better than Tom Cruise. Like genuinely recommend going to watch it if you want to check it out.
That's a good review or a high praise, because I legitimately love Tom Cruise Lestat.
Well, they've done it over 2 seasons as well, so it covers everything rather than obviously in the movie, which is about 2 hours long. So you got 2 seasons, about 10 episodes each, about an hour 45 minutes per episode. Just phenomenal. I binged it. It's like I had the recommendation, checked out the first season, and then was like, oh, there's a second season, sick, and just went through it all in like 2 days. The other show I really want to talk about that's currently ongoing, and episode 7, I believe, comes out this evening in the US, so tomorrow for me, and that's The Penguin. Have you guys been watching The Penguin? Fucking watch it. It is mind-blowingly good. It is so good. In some ways, I've been comparing it to Andor. And the reason that comparison is there is I think Andor is the best Star Wars thing, show / movie, whatever, that Star Wars has done, because it has the least amount of Star Wars in it. Like there's no there's no Force, there's no Jedis, there's no mention of it at all in Andor. It's all about the heist and the espionage and all that shit. Really, really, really good. And it's kind of the same with The Penguin. The Penguin has no Batman. There's no dude in a suit punching people dressed up as a bat. There's none of that. There's no like weird, strange supervillains with like weird powers or mutations or anything like that. It's Colin Farrell, who I routinely forget every episode is in it because he's obviously all like covered in prosthetics and a fat suit and stuff like that. Oh,
he plays the Penguin?
Yeah. So he plays the Penguin, and you forget because he doesn't look like Colin Farrell apart from his eyes. His performance, fucking phenomenal. But the real star of the show is Kristen Milotti, who plays Sophia Falcone. She's getting an Emmy. She is absolutely. They both are, but she is absolutely getting an Emmy. And it's the show is probably more like The Sopranos. It's all very mobster and gangster. And it's, again, very beautifully shot. It's easily the best thing that the DCCU, I suppose is what you'd call it, has put out there. Like, if you liked the Batman movie, which I think was very, very good, and you like the way it was shot, take him out and continue with, like, this mobster theme in The Penguin, and you are in for such a good time. Like, it's the performances from Kristen Milotti as well. Like every time I find myself going, fuck, I fancy her. Like I fancy this murderous gang boss kind of thing. And it's just like, oh no, because the performance is just so good. She does it so well. Like it's very visceral, like the way she performs. Highly recommend watching it. There's just, I'm trying to think of the words to describe it. There's just times where you get so sucked into it. And then it ends, or the episode ends, and sometimes it ends on a cliffhanger, sometimes it doesn't. And you're just like, oh no, I have to wait a fucking week? No, not again, kind of thing. But like, if you want a really good show, like it's up there with like your Breaking Bad, your Game of Thrones. It's easily some of the best television that I've watched in the entirety of this year, hands down. If you want to dedicate yourself to a show for any time period, The Penguin. Even if you're into homoeroticism, you're gonna have to let the vampires wait and watch the Penguin instead, because it's just so good. Just get on that show. I highly recommend it. And that's
I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't even know.
What's it? What is it on?
I believe
Peacock.
I want to say HBO
Peacock.
or Netflix is one of those two. Probably Netflix, I think.
It's Peacock. It's Peacock.
Is it actually Peacock?
No, I don't fucking know. That's
Shut
the
up.
meme, isn't it?
Stop
What the fuck is
confusing people.
Peacock?
Let me quickly look. The Penguin show on. Well, in the UK, it's on Now and Sky. So if it's on Sky, I think that's HBO. Scroll down. The Penguin is a HBO original limited series. There you go. So HBO Max or Max.
HBO.
They've changed the name 20 billion times. So whatever it's called now.
It's Max now.
Max. There you go. So yeah. Definitely get it on your watch list, and
Yelled at
because
it.
I guarantee you're gonna watch it and you're gonna like it, and then you'll be like, Brian was right. I should just take all his recommendations. But yeah, just absolutely check it out.
Brian, I'd be
100%.
3D printing within the week if I did that. Come on now.
True. But Pulp, I unfortunately didn't actually get to play Wilds yet because I was going to do it last night, but then I ate a pizza and napped. And then the nap turned into a longer sleep than I
Before the beta
anticipated.
servers are taken down, I highly recommend you check it out.
Yes, I will be playing it tomorrow.
I downloaded it on PS5 when it first, because it was released there first, and I ended up, I've been only playing on it, and this is solely like a personal issue. My computer can't stream the game and play it at the same time, but I can play it without streaming.
Right.
It plays fine. Just it is a hog.
Yeah.
Of a game. However, I did play through it, and it did take me a while, like a little bit of adjustment. Because I've been swapping back and forth between Wilds and World. Because it got me wanting to play World again. It's beautiful. Even though it's just a deserty area and like there's only so much you could do with a desert, it looks so good. And for what, like I said, with the exception of when I stream, my computer is able to handle it. It's so.
What card are you
fluid.
running again?
I have a 30 series. That's why. But
3060?
3070, I think.
3070.
Yeah, it's not that like my.
Steam's hardware thing came out where most people have a 3060, so your mileage may vary on.
Well, and like to be like fully transparent, like I've been trying to, I can't because I am not working right now. I need to buy a new computer. But it's my processor and my CPU chip or my motherboard, whatever. My CPU mainly.
Yeah,
it's just getting bottlenecked.
You'll be CPU
Right.
streaming.
It's just getting bottlenecked. My computer's 6 years old. And so like it's fine. Like at the very least I can give people who don't have these like very fancy rigs like these two assholes over here. I could give you I could give you guys like a little bit more insight of like how it runs on like probably what more people are working with.
Yeah.
And my computer runs great otherwise. Like I've done some upgrades to it, but just that's just full transparency. That's the problem. It's just CPU. But without when I don't stream because it's splitting so much energy, but between both tasks, it runs great. I have seen there are some graphical issues with PC. I didn't receive any of those, but I don't know if those problems still persist. So I'm going to be speaking directly from playing on PS5 mainly. I am going to test. If anyone has it on PC, Brian, I do want to test the crossplay to see how seamless that is because I am playing directly from PS5 with a landline. Right. So it'd be nice to see how that works. So with that exception, the one criticism I will have with it is, and this is a criticism that goes with all of Monster Hunters, is they make even though it's a lot more, it works better, the multiplayer, it is so unnecessarily convoluted at times.
No.
And I don't know what it is with Capcom and doing this with Monster Hunter because these games are great. They're made to play with other people, and it's like there's two. Like we were trying to. So there's 4 monsters you can fight in the beta. There's the it's like one's like this big frog. He's kind of like a little chunky frog.
He's the tutorial one, right?
That's the tutorial one. And then there is a it looks like a lion bear kind of thing. It looks kind of cool. And you have to find an alpha and it's great because like all these monsters, and like I said, I played this on my PC too, so without streaming this worked fine too because I tested it. Like you'll have multiple monsters show up. Like I've had you have to go fight the alpha of this one, and there's like 2 others with him, and
you're fighting a herd.
Yeah, and I didn't have any slowdown. So, and it's using RE engine, by the way.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then there's this like like a stone sandworm kind of thing, and it took me a second to find him because he kept going underground, and like my game was fucking around with me, and you would see him go down. He's like, "No, fuck you," and go back up.
Right.
I was like, "No, get over here," because you have to track him from your map. We were having issues last night. I was playing with Kevin and a subscriber of mine, and we were playing on PS5. And there is a 4th monster, which is like this big, like it looks like a wyvern, like an electric wyvern. Honestly, this monster, when I could find him, sold me on the game. Like he was frustrating, and but how cinematic the game could look. It's you have like the lightning going everywhere. He'll electrify the ground. And there was this one time we were in the middle of the desert. We all hopped in on some rando's game because he wasn't showing up on our maps.
Right.
And we would be like, we have to get into a link party. And then if you want to join on someone else's part, like their own world, because it's so open, you have to do an environmental link. Right. And it's just all these different loopholes, and it's so unnecessarily convoluted. And that's like my biggest criticism with this. So we all jumped in on this guy's game, and like we were in the middle of a desert, and you just see like the lightning going everywhere, and then 2 of these sandworms come up and do like a turf war on it. It looks so great and you can summon your mount really quickly, and he's like there in a flash, and all of your like in every time you start a quest you get like they give you like some free health potions and everything. You can hop on him, and then if the quest goes on long enough, they'll be like, oh, there's a re-up, so you can just hop on your mount and just hit left on the D-pad, because I was playing with the controller, and just grab them really fast and throw them into your item pouch, and like things like that. There's a lot of quality of life improvements upon it.
Apart from the netcode.
I don't know what it is with monster. Like the only game I feel like they did well on that was ironically Rise, because Rise was on the Switch, and and it plays like it was made for the Switch, but like ironically, but because of that, and Nintendo's like internet is awful, notoriously awful, but ironically, Rise seemed to have got it the best because it's like really quick, and like I remember playing with Kevin, my brother-in-law, and we were having no issues like linking up on that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Cross-platform does throw a lot of spanners in the works, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
but they do make it difficult just to jump in with your friends.
Like I said, they
do Street Fighter, which is seamless. It's like a 0 latency.
It's whoever's the developers for Monster Hunter. It's like they're not. I don't know what they're trying to do, because with this game, like, so we obviously have to add your friend to your hunter's friend so they can show up on your list. So you already got. There's one, so you already have your friends on PSN, then you got to add them onto your game. So you can add them to your server, then you have to add them to your link party, and then if you want them to venture with you in your world, you have to do an environmental link. It's like it's so many
it's all
steps.
seeded like last time with Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's kind of cool because like when you're going in the main hub, the main hub shows a bunch of other people in your server, and it feels kind of like an MMO, and like there's so much there. I'm hoping I'm not going to be too super hard on this because I know it's a beta, and I know there's things that could be improved upon. And from what my experience was, like I said, the last monster in particular, because he was legitimately difficult at times because you don't level up, you don't get to get new armor or anything. Like you can go into tent and like equip other armor, but aside from that, there's not really much you can do because of the fact that it's a beta. So I'm being like I want to be fair about that.
Yeah.
Finding that dragon though, that wyvern, was a pain in the ass because he wasn't showing up on my map. And that's why we were hopping into each other. Once you killed him, he would show up on your quest log, which makes 0 fucking sense. So, but like I said, just seeing how like all these mechanics that can go in. And when I was playing, I use the insect glaive. So like I like hopping around and it gives me a little bit more to do. And it was making that monster a little bit easy, like I felt it made it easier to dodge his attacks. However, like are some noticeable changes that they did to I only know because Kevin plays dual blades and I do insect glaive. So we've noticed changes with like the load, like the way they set it up. It seems like they gave you more to do. They got rid of the float from like when you're in the air. So like I was like, damn it, I like that.
Yeah, where you could just be perpetually in the sky with insect glaive.
You took it away from me. Yeah. But like you can also now do like 2 different weapons.
Yeah.
And so you can hop on your mount and swap weapons if you want. And
oh,
I
think do you have to mount up to do it?
I don't know. I've only done it when I was mounted, so so don't hold me to that. So yeah, there's a lot of like it's a very, very, very cool game. Like I can very like I don't have I like that the beta right now is free for everybody. You don't have to pre-order it. So if you're interested in checking it out, I know the servers, my time they go down tomorrow at 7 p.m. or 6:59. So if you get an opportunity, I think it would be a great to check out.
Yeah, I'll be playing it for sure for tomorrow.
Yeah,
because it goes down on the 4th, I believe.
Yeah, what I do want to play once at least from my PS5 with someone on PC. I want to see how well that works. You're offering crossplay, which the other world does not have. I want to see how serious we are about this.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't sing enough praises. Like I really like Monster Hunter as a franchise. They're legitimately fun, and I do like. Oh no, I'm just saying I could see there's a lot of quality of life changes that they've added that I think a lot of people really like. And it is pretty.
Yeah, I like that. You can also
you're not playing on PC. Apparently PC has some graphical issues.
I do love that you can because I saw a clip where someone was like just in the desert cooking, and then another player was fighting a monster in the background, and you're just there like, oh, let's just fill it this pitch, and then there's some giant things getting fucked.
Really good.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, I intend on making Tifa or attempting to make Tifa. We'll see how that goes.
I tried to make me.
Yeah,
because I want to be me.
Yeah, I always play a chick in the Monster Hunter games because I like hot muscle mummies.
I can make a character. I am making a Hlamins.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I always do.
I have to mix it up, but like my first characters, almost always a woman.
Sometimes I like making men, but like I want to see a girl fight. Like I think everyone like kind of like a lot of guys I know like to play as chicks in Monster Hunter because the girls are
apparently
pretty.
You can't put them on the cover of the game because they won't sell.
No.
Allegedly. But yeah, I'm kind of bummed that you can't swap, or you can only swap the weapons via the mount, as confirmed by your chat, because I was looking forward to like some of the swap outs you could do where you're just like wailing on them with like your dual swords, and then suddenly you just pull out your sword and board, or bring out the long sword, something like that.
I want to know. The way I found out was I did it by accident. I was on the mount and I accidentally hit right on the D-pad. I was like, where the fuck's where's my sword?
Yeah. I knew there was going to be two. I knew there was going to be 2 weapons, but I assumed that you could just like swap, like I said, mid combo.
Yeah,
but if
I
it's
was
mount
hoping
only,
it was seamless too. It would be nice to like, maybe. Well, like I said, it's like the game comes out in February, and this is just a free beta.
They won't change that. they won't have anywhere near enough time to change that.
Well, yeah, unless they delay the game.
Yeah, without delaying it, it would be like a year delay. That's a very tough mechanic to suddenly throw in, but it's still going to be it's going to be good. Did you try any? I believe there's a few new weapons, right?
No, I wanted to try what I could go through checking out some of them. I wanted to stick with one I knew.
Right, fair enough.
And like honestly, this game made me go back to World. I haven't beaten Iceborne yet. And it was also kind of nice to see the differences in like my weapon. So since I apparently there's no new weapon types, by the way. But like I just wanted to stick with I went with Insect Glaive, and I remember when I first played Monster Hunter, I went dual play because I went anytime I play like an RPG or something like that, and I'm given the options. I'm usually like the thief type, anything with high DPS. So like that's why, which is odd that I went Insect Glaive. So I wanted to try that. So those are the only two I've tried.
Mhm.
And they do start you off with a great sword.
Yeah, that's like the default.
Yeah. But
You're like
I
a
mean,
quick and zoomy.
yeah, I'm a quick and zoomy little girl. But no, if like I said, it does come out in February. So, but it is nice that even if you haven't pre-ordered this game, you can check out the beta. And I think that would be a great opportunity if you never played a Monster Hunter game, you can also take this opportunity to see if you even like it.
I do feel like Monster Hunter is a very unique mechanic.
It's a great co-op game. It's great to play with friends because
Yeah.
it's like and you feel awesome when you take something down, man.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, it's especially Monster Hunter. Obviously, there's a couple of like clones, I say in air quotes, like Dauntless, and there was the
There's
EA one.
Wild Heart.
Yeah, Wild Hearts was great. I'm actually gutted that didn't
have
like,
it,
pick
and
up.
I haven't. I never got around to playing it.
It's genuinely really good. It's a shame it didn't pick up, but everyone was just like, "Oh, it's basically Monster Hunter. We'll just wait for Monster Hunter," and fair play because they've kind of perfected the formula. But the problem with Monster Hunter is it's
playing with your friends.
Well,
apparently,
it's playing with your friends, but it's a lot of systems. There is a learning curve to it, like the whole dual system on top of the weapon system, on top of every other system, and like knowing what things to bring with you.
If there's one gripe I have about Monster Hunter is when you stop playing for a while and then you decide to pick it up again, and you see all these menus, and you're like, ah!
Yeah, it's a lot of systems. And then usually what will happen is they'll add systems from previous games halfway through like the content cycle, and they'll be like, here's another new system, where all the people who've played the previous games know, but if you're a new player, you're like, the fuck is this? They're like, oh, it's where you do like G units or whatever.
Wilds is definitely a culmination of both World and Rise. Like the best parts of both World. It looks more like World.
Yeah.
It plays more like World, but like little details that they included in Rise, because Rise had the mounts, and because you got like a little wolf.
Yeah.
And they just really need to fix that matchmaking like setup, because maybe there is a right reason to their madness, but like when I'm playing as it, like when you have like 3 people going like, I exited the environmental link because I'm going to check my world really fast. Give me a second, bro. Yeah. Then invite me again. But we're still linked up. We're still in the same server, or like we're all in the same server, but we're not in the same party. And it's like,
yeah, I remember reading or hearing something about it, why it was like that in World. It was something to do with like it was their first time trying to add that type of system into like a more open format.
If that's the case, then it shows, because it's also kind of buggy in that game.
Yeah.
Because I know like the third slot sometimes can be bugged and it keeps kicking you.
Yeah.
And that's still, I mean, it's a game. The game came out in 2018, so I'm not going to harp too much on a 6-year-old game, but like it's. I think that if anything, that's like my main complaint, and it's like the same complaint I've had since World, is like I really wish that they made it a little bit. They didn't. It feels like they make it needlessly difficult, or just not difficult, just convoluted. Like there's too many things you have to do, and I imagine the hunter friend part is meant for the crossplay, and that makes sense to me.
I imagine it's probably more than anything like a UX issue. Like for example, Diablo 4 has a thing where it'll bring you into a person's world, even though you're all playing on the same kind of server. But what it will do is you click on the thing, I want to go to this place, and it will just bring up a pop-up, and it'll go, this will transfer you to their world, blah, 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 blah. Are you sure? Yes. Right. Then you put into it. So I think they just haven't considered the fact that they could just do an auto yes thing and then roll it into one button. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, if you want to play with them, you have to be on their seed, you have to be on their server, you have to be on this. Do you want all of that? Yes. And then it does it.
I mean, I can see why the final step. I can understand why it works the way it does, or why they set it up this way. Because like I'm trying like to be devil's advocate to myself. Is like to I understand like having your own friends list within the game is like, because they're making it cross-platform, that makes sense, because that way it makes it easier to connect with each other. That part makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And the link parties, because 100 people could be in a server, to make sure that you're all playing together.
Yeah.
I get that. And I guess the environmental link, so you can invite people to your, that's the environmental link is a little weird because you would imagine like if you're in one server, it should be one collective world, like everybody who's involved in that. And that's where like, I think that extra layer, like everyone has their own isolated maps in the same server. Like, so your own events, or I don't know, it doesn't, that's the part that
it sounds like it's instanced.
Yeah. You'll be its own seed or shard, depending on the terminology.
But you have to go into many fucking Russian nesting dolls deep into that, and when they should just go, here, do you want to do the thing with your friends? There you go. That should be.
Yeah, that I agree with that. If they just did here, have your friends list, like when you go, like you have your friends list, that's fine, and then just one click and just be like, just do you want to link up with them and be in their server? Okay, got it.
Yeah. And again, like Diablo 4, once the party breaks up, it goes, do you want to go back to yours? Or do you want to stay in the one that you're in? And then you just go, yes, and it does it. It sounds like it's more just a UX thing, and they haven't thought about just going, let's truncate it down into one button.
Hopefully they figure it out. And if that's my only complaint, which I mean, that's really is, from what I experienced so far with the beta, is I can see that Wilds is going to be it's going to be a wonderful game. Yeah. I think a lot of anybody who's a big fan of Monster Hunter, if you haven't had a chance to check out the beta, get a chance to check it out before the servers go down, because it's free. And you'll see if you've been interested in Monster Hunter, this is a good way to check it out to see if you're interested. And then and while you wait, check out like World in the meantime, or Rise. Those are on Steam. But like, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm shilling for Monster Hunter. I just legitimately enjoy the game, and I enjoy the experience. 100%.
And I'm on it like a fat kid on cake. I'll be on it.
Yeah. It's just I was very, very pleasantly surprised by this beta.
Sick. I think. Oh, there is one last bit of news, I suppose, that I didn't put on the agenda. It's devastating news if you are a action RPG enjoyer such as myself. PoE 2 got delayed by 3 weeks. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Aww.
Please move your PTO.
Now, Bryan,
just move your PTO. Nah, like to be no. Like to be fair, like one thing I thought was really, really good was the reception from the community. The goodwill that GGG have built is phenomenal. Not a single person was like, motherfuckers, my PTO needs moving, like you would usually see with a delay, even if that delay is months in advance. This delay was like 2-3 weeks ahead of when it was due to come out, which was originally the 15th. So yeah, literally 2 weeks. And then people are like, oh yeah, no worries, mate. Go ahead. And like they did a 2-minute video where they're like, the reasons they've cited is the cosmetics get transferred and are shared across the two games, PoE 1 and PoE 2.
Oh, yeah.
And they thought it would be a simple thing, so they didn't really put a lot of time into it. The game itself is ready for early access, apart from the cosmetic shit. So they're like, oh, fuck, we actually need to do stuff. Because apparently, in its current state, some cosmetics will literally just disappear. And that's stuff you've paid money for. So they don't want to do shit like that on release and, like, lose people's shit. So they've delayed it by 3 weeks. So the 6th of November, which is a Friday, is when it goes into early access. Jonathan was in the video. He was like, I'm devastated. It was my fault. I thought it was going to be a minor thing that we could get through easily and leave it to the end. And I misjudged, and it's actually a massive endeavor that we need to like massively look into. So that's why it's going to be 3 week delay. So yeah, like a lot of people are like, oh, bugger, because it's a big deal for Path of Exile players by all means. But again, they've got all the goodwill on the planet, so people are just gonna go with it. But yeah, that was the last bit of news. Was there anything else that you two wanted to throw in before we do shoutouts?
No.
Warhammer is good.
Warhammer.
And there's a new Kill Team starter box, which I really want because it's got all the limited edition blind box minis in it, which I've been trying to collect one by one, which is costing me so much money, and now I can just buy the box.
Do you know there's a Warhammer MMO in development, by the way?
Again, another one? The last one just went to shit.
I think it's being made, I want to say, by Jackalyptic Games. I want to say.
Jackalyptic, I'm not here those.
The guy who runs the studio, if it is that one, is someone who was the director on like the Marvel MMO. I think it was the Marvel MMO. And he's done a a couple of, I think he was on Neverwinter as well. The only thing that may concern you is I believe it's a NetEase deal. The publisher.
This was announced in 2023.
Yeah, so it's been in development for a year. They even now, it's a year later, they still haven't confirmed which Warhammer property it is. So we don't know if it's 40k, Sigmar. We don't know if it's fantasy.
Based on a Warhammer IP.
Yeah, for some reason, he was in an interview and he just was like, "We're not going to talk about it. it's a Warhammer property. We're not going to tell you what it is. And when it comes out, we hope it will be really, really good and you'll like it. And it will be like Marvel wants to comic books."
But when you say Warhammer, it does say a Warhammer RP rather than Warhammer, because Warhammer would usually mean fantasy. Yeah. Which could be Age of Sigmar or Old World.
Yeah. So, and he has says it could be any of them. Like, for some reason, he's keeping real quiet about it. So
I mean, there could be a 40k one for that, because Darktide was just phenomenal, and then Space Marine 2 was double that.
Yeah, true. But
I'm not sure how somebody follows up Space Marine 2 at the moment. I'm not sure how that's done.
Would you want a Warhammer MMO?
I keep trying MMOs and I just can't stick with them anymore.
I'm kind of in the same way. I feel like I've aged out of it, which I know sounds stupid.
It may be. But I did my time in World of Warcraft. But then I played the Final Fantasy one, the Elder Scrolls one. Those are all good, but they didn't keep me for longer than a couple of months.
Yeah.
I think I'm just not an MMO person anymore, at least.
I just don't think I have the time. Maybe if I was a full-time creator whose content was MMOX kind of thing, sure.
That's a very niche player base, though, isn't it? You need more people than that playing.
Well, I don't know. There's when you stick to any one game in any genre, you find the community there. People will naturally gravitate to you.
No, what I mean is for the company to sell the game.
All right, no, yes, sure, by all means. I mean, there's always going to be an audience. I suppose it depends on how big you want it to be. Like, fucking New World's rocking like 3K concurrence at some point. Hence, they had to do like a re-release and stuff like that. Most MMOs.
How has that game been doing since?
I think a lot of people are like, yeah, it's cool. This new, like, it's basically New World 2.0, but it still has some of the same problems from what I've been hearing, that it's fun to play, but then it falls off after a couple of weeks.
Lead environmental artist.
Did they?
Yeah, because they got a brand new opening for lead environmental.
All I know with New World, in my experience, is like I remember I played it when it came out with with Kevin, and then we had a couple friends with us, and our faction, because it was the 3 factions, ended up getting completely overrun. There was like, it always ended up just being 2. Like,
yeah, because people just moved to the other one. It's like, oh, that one's winning, so we'll just move to that.
So like, I don't remember. There's blue, red, and yellow. We were in yellow, and ours were like completely fucked. And it got to the point where we were just like 3 of us just in there just chopping trees for like hours.
Yeah.
The resource collecting was kind of fun because that's all we were able to fucking
do. Yeah.
I would try it, Brian, but I am a slut for most things Warhammer.
That's true. That's very.
But if
true.
it was Age of Sigmar, I'd be less inclined to do so.
I mean, I'm more interested. I would play it probably. I don't like MMOs that much. I've been getting more into Warhammer now since our little history lessons, and I played the shit out of Space Marine.
Yeah, I want to know what the monetization will be on it first, because it's published by NetEase, unfortunately. So
yeah, that is an issue.
Yeah. There was actually one more thing I wanted to briefly mention. More because it's just interesting, because it's something that I've actually got my eye on, or had at the very least, and that was the new Wolverine game by Insomniac.
Oh.
The creative director just pieced out and went to another company mid-development, which is weird. So for those who are not sure why that's weird, creative director is very well paid, like very well paid for Wolverine as well. Like, that's going to be a big deal when that releases. And
the director of the game, it's the captain of the ship.
yeah, so he's just like, oh, I can't remember who he's gone to. Like, he's gone to a Microsoft studio. So, which is funny as well. He just leaves a Sony studio to go to a Microsoft one. Yeah, he's just gone, yeah, I've left and now I'm the creative for Perfect Dark.
Oh, okay.
I want to say. Yes, Perfect Dark. So yeah, he's gone to Perfect Dark now. So I just thought that was interesting because now I'm like, why? Why would you just suddenly leave such a prolific role for a prolific, expected game? So who knows? Maybe there'll be a documentary at some point or a book written about it. So it's something I'm very, very intrigued by.
No clip right now.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
All Balder news, they always pull the fucking juicy shit.
There's definitely something in there. But and go listen to Play Nice or read or buy the book. It's so insightful. It's genuinely really, really interesting as well. 9 hours. Go check it out. Pope.
I can't read it. He blocked me, so it's all censored for me.
And Pope, where can we find you?
Oh, you can find me on all my social media under Pulp Fictionally. Hi guys, by the way, I'm a former Instagram model turned variety streamer. I'm going to be online a little bit later. I'm gonna check out that Quiet Place game. I made a promise the last stream.
Don't do it. Don't do it. This is self-harm. TOS. It's TOS. You can't do it. It's self-harm.
I know. I'm interested, so after
there's fluids. If there's no fluids, you're probably okay.
I'm gonna give it like a solid hour because if I'm being like very transparent, I don't know how much I'm gonna like it because I don't really like stealth that much, and it's like super stealth, and it's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's Slav squatting simulator. You're gonna have a great time.
Yeah. So I'm gonna check that out a little bit later, probably around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and I'll still be dressed as Wednesday. And yeah, if not, we're gonna be playing some more Monster Hunter, baby.
Yeah. Peachy, who's not at his mic. There we go.
I'm Peachy Pixelate. You can find me on twitch.tv/Peachy Pixelate. If you like Warhammer, you can find me on YouTube, Peachy Pixel 28. That's funny. If you don't get Warhammer, you probably wouldn't want to watch it anyway, so you wouldn't get the joke, so that doesn't matter.
Wait, so you've actually changed that? Because I need to change that on your shout out card now.
Yeah, I feel like every podcast we do this.
No, that's the first time you've mentioned it, I swear.
I think I mentioned it before we done the first episode.
I don't believe you.
And you can't find me on Twitter because fuck that hellhole.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of fucking hellholes, is Diablo, Bryan.
My hellhole is actually beautiful. Thank you very much. But,
he bleached it.
He bleached it, changing my ringtone. So
We're done.
So my name is Bryan the Pirate. If you are watching this live, I will be on tomorrow with some Monster Hunter Wilds beta, and then I will be playing some God of War, hopefully right up until the moment that Path of Exile 2 comes out on the 6th of December. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky, all under Bryan the Pirate. Check out my YouTube, join the Discord, buy yourself a pineapple, treat yourself, you deserve it. That's going to be it from all of us. Why not? Everyone wants a pineapple. Here, have a pineapple. But yes, welcome. Thank you all for watching. Thank you again to my co-hosts. Follow us on Twitter at Fully Rendered TV and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Fully Rendered. It has been a pleasure. Farewell. We'll remember you.
Changing my ringtone.
Bye.
Chocolate flavor.